Hello, good evening to everyone. Welcome to our ReSkills Life Talk show. Yes. And now I will invite our coach Suba to come on the screen. Yay!
Hi, Glendy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you doing great?
Yes, I'm doing great. You're looking dashing as well.
I have one question to ask you. As a
Mm-hmm.
rescue coach or as a trainer yourself, how do you think about the skill?
It's a platform. I think you guys are really trending at the moment. Whereby, for me, one word I want to describe ReSkills, I will say "walawe." All right, because I think you guys are actually kind of leading Malaysia in the sense of online platform. I think you're providing a lot of opportunity for trainers as well as for learners to come and get lots of knowledge. And I don't think so it's just Malaysia. I think you guys are really expanding globally. And at the moment, if I see the way you have gone to up to date, I think you are really flourishing towards the Southeast Asian nation. And yeah, I see a lot of comments. I do see a lot of participants during the online training coming from Philippines, Indonesia. So I think you guys are really doing a great job. On top of that, I think your CEO, Mr. Jin Tan, is doing a really great job, and you have a good team, very high tech, very tech savvy. You guys are wired with the social media, and you guys are really doing a very fantastic job. I feel it all goes to you all the credit. Even putting me here live today, it's all your effort. So thank you so much. And I think ReSkill is a great platform to work with, to partner with.
Wow, there's a lot of compliment. Thank you, Coach Suba. And of course, when we send the invitation to you to come to our ReSkills Live Talk, what do you feel at that moment when you receive this invitation?
Well, I was excited because first I was thinking, what am I going to share? But you actually told me that we want to learn more about our coaches, a little bit on how they actually, they get into this training thing, and how we are expanding, and how we could share this experience from our knowledge and our past experience, in a different field that we were. And now we are boarding on this platform of e-learning and sharing our knowledge for the benefits of audience participants coming from across the nation. So, well, at first I was kind of skeptical about what's gonna be on the show like, but yeah, I think it's more like a sharing session, and I think it's gonna be fun.
Yes, we're going to make this section fun so people will be tend to understand your story behind. But of course, let us start with a little bit about your family background. So, are you the only children or you have a sibling with you?
Oh, yes, I do have two other siblings together with me. So basically, we are from a normal middle class family. So my father was attached with Tenaga National, and my mom was a housewife. But my father left us for like about 3 years now. So I have two brothers, younger brothers. So I'm the eldest in the family. So yeah, and now I'm married. I'm with my husband. I've got a daughter. So is there anything else personal you want to know?
Oh, okay. So we keep it in the private, but anything that you can share, yes, please share with us. We would love to hear that. Especially when you talk about your husband. Is your husband also in the training line like you, or is in another industry?
Well, he's a trainer ever since I know, but actually he's a professional project manager. I got to know him when he was working in Hong Kong. So that was, I was still studying at that time. So that's when I met him for a holiday party during my campus years. And he actually was on job as a project manager. But later on, he switched, not to say switch, he does projects, major projects like for government, and he have done a lot of projects in foreign country like Disneyland. Hong Kong was one of his main project, and he have done telecom smart school. Even in Singapore, the land authority We call it the toll. In Malaysia, we have the toll. So in Singapore, they have the other system, right? ERP, whatever they call that system. So he was working on that project. So he have done a lot of jobs across global. And when I met him, he was in Hong Kong. So he was with Disneyland. So I used to get a lot of toys from Hong Kong every time he come back to see me. So I have a collection of toys in my hostel room, and where my friends will come and play and all that. Well, that was a little bit on my private side. And and now he's much into his training. So he does projects on and off, but when he's done with this project, so he focuses on his training. So he's actually a PMI certified project management professional. So he does PMP as well as CAPM trainings for whoever wants it, organization and individuals.
Great. I'll believe that when they heard about Hong Kong Disneyland,
Can't hear you.
When they hear about the Hong Kong Disneyland, I think their extraction has been went over there. But I think it's a time to call them to come back. Yes, Hong Kong Disneyland, we cannot go right now. But maybe one day we can visit our Coach Suba house. You can see all toys over there.
Yeah, you can come over and see all the collections of toys. I had a big cupboard filled with all sorts of Disney characters,
Oh.
So,
maybe it's time we can see from the photo.
Oh, I don't have it right now. Okay, so I do have some from miniature to the big Mickey Mouse, big Pooh, and all the princess toys and all that. So my daughter actually now utilizes them on that kind of thing. All right, that's a little bit of my private story.
All right, so from here, yes, let's say for example, is it before you met, or before you met your husband, or before you decide you become the trainer? Is it during your school day you're also thinking that you want to become the trainer?
During my school days, I wasn't really thinking about. There was no idea about trainer at all at that point of time. During my school years, I was very much into becoming a doctor, as usual, typical Indian parentage. So my father always encouraged me to take up science, and he said, why not one of you take up medicine? And my brothers, since they are boys, take up engineering kind of thing, very typical. So, and I had the interest in medicine. So I was in college, did my matriculation after my SPM, and then I went on board 2 years in medical school. Then I decided not to be with patients because I don't have the patience to be with patients. So I thought I want to do something different than just being a doctor. But I still like to be in the field of medical science. Then I switched myself to medical laboratory technology. So I was doing a lot of analysis behind all the laboratory diagnosis. I was attached with University Malaya Medical Center. So I was sponsored by UMSC, and I was studying there. I finished my graduation there, and I did my job in UM itself. I was attached with Department of Pathology, University Malaya. So I served there for about 12 years, including my internship. Years. Yeah. I was with PPUM, University Malaya Medical Center.
Wow.
So that was my background. So training was not something that I thought about at all during that time. But while I was in my job, we had to do like CMEs, continuous medical education, we call it. So every week we have to come up with case studies, and we have to present that. We have to present that to our lecturers. It's a group study, it's a more focused group where we share with our MOs, our lecturers, and students. So since there, I had a little interest on teaching, because we share, what we have diagnosed, some case studies, some interesting case studies we share among staffs. for it's a continuous education. So we learn how to analyze, we learn how to diagnose, we learn what are the current trend, or what is the updates in medical science on the diagnosis aspects, and many of those. So that gave me a little bit of experience in teaching. And since University Malaya, we were also involved with medical students, nursing students, dentistry students,
I see.
and also research. So therefore, that gave me an experience, and whole lot of experience in teaching and research and service as well, because we are also doing diagnosis for patient. So my interest in training kind of like that was a stepping stone. That was a stepping stone where I had an initial interest in teaching or training, but I wasn't thinking into training at all at that point of time. So that was more of sharing within the university, within the campus.
I see. So at that moment, you do enjoy to share your knowledge, to share your experience with the student or the nursing student in the UM.
Mm-hmm.
So does it make you that it doesn't never have a sign or never have a thought that you want to become a lecturer in the UM?
Oh yes, of course. So as we evolve in university, after you are done with the job, if you are going for your masters and if you're completing your postgrad, then of course they're going to offer you a lecturer post or a pegawai science, you call it scientific officer post and all that. There was a little interest in lecturing, but again, when I looked at the situation of a lecturer's life during my campus years, oh man, so it's an option. It's an option. So it's not my ultimate option to become a lecturer. So now I'm still. It's always good to be a lecturer, of course, in a university. Yes, you're asking me that question. Yes, definitely, because you, as a university lecturer, you have a lot of privilege. You have a lot of what you call that. You have a lot of. You get a lot of stuffs. Because you're government based, and you get your pay, you get your other stuffs, you have your what do you call that? You can do more research, you can do publications, and it's really an in thing. It's good stuff to be a lecturer. Yes, I had an interest to become a lecturer, but wasn't really my focus at that point of time, because just a mild interest. Because I was very much attached to the job at that point of time. So I wasn't really thinking of expanding myself to become a lecturer.
I see. Because when you share your experience, will be a 12 years experience in the UM. So I was thinking that why within these 12 years, you never try or never thought that you can become a lecturer in the UM. So now I get your answer. You're so passionate with your current job.
Yes, I was. My job was very interesting because we do a lot of experiments, we do a lot of analysis, and we are having this COVID-19 pandemic and all that. So we used to work in microbiology, we used to work in various departments like hematology. So we go for internship. So it was an interesting thing when you learn about different aspects of medical science. So that part is more challenging for me, but I like challenges. That is more challenging for me compared to being with patients directly, because when patients come, you just talk to them, so you don't know what's happening. But being an analysis, clinically analyzing things, you know a lot of things which is happening at the back of the scene. So that was like more of my interest, something very analytical. I liked it. Wow. So I wasn't really thinking about becoming a lecturer at that point of time, because I was enjoying what I was doing.
Yeah, I think from that point, you give me a hint that you are the adventure style. You like to have some challenges, to advance something that you never explored before.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this is also the hint or the sign that make you become the trainer when you want to explore the new industry?
Yes, kind of. Not really, because my situation. When I had my daughter, my girl, I became a weekend parent. I became a weekend mother because I was working and I was not able to take care of her. So she was with my mom back in Port Dickson. So my mother took care of her. And because I was working, I was not able to find a proper babysitter here. And I was afraid of, having her babysitted by someone I don't know. So my mom she said, no, this is my first grandchild, so I want to take care of her. So she took her back to Port Dickson. So I only visited my daughter, like I go back Friday after job at night, and I come back on Sunday. And traveling KL to Port Dickson, and going Friday, come back Sunday, it was kind of rush, and I had very limited time with her. So I was going through this battle for about 4 years until she was 4 years old, and then I thought I got to do something about this, because in the midst of traveling, once I had an accident. That was late night because we were traveling back from Port Dickson. And then me and my husband were sitting. We got to do something about this. We can't afford to travel like this daily at night because as we were going, I think someone was because it was night. So I think someone dozed off. The other driver actually dozed off, and they came and hit the car. And that was something we thought it's risky to do this, and so we need to change. We need to do something about this. So my husband suggested, bring her back, get my daughter, be back with us, kind of thing. So being back with me, of course, we are happy, excited. But again, she was just 4 years old, so I had to look for a option on how I'm going to look after her. Okay, so I still had to look for a babysitter. So then I found a playschool, a Montessori near my office where I was working in PJ. Mm-hmm. So every morning I would send her there, and I fetch her back after work. So that was that was going on for another 2 years. Because that time I was still in KL. I was staying in KL and very close. It's just 10 minutes away from my office. So that was very close by, and I was able to do that. Later on, we shifted from KL to Klang to Setia Alam. Klang,
okay.
Yeah, and it's it's a distance. Yes. It's a distance, and traveling was a nightmare for me. From Setia Alam going to University Hospital every morning. It was like I have to leave before 6, and I reach my office punctually around 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Okay, and it was it was going on for another 2 years, and the traffic jam, that was the real killer. It really put me off, and it's pretty tiring. And that morning I had to rush her, and I had to send her to the babysitter, and then I got to get to the job on time. And evening is the same, another crisis, and I have to fetch her from the school, and I have to rush back to Setia Alam. And after 5, how's the jam in Federal Highway?
Wow,
I don't have to describe.
I cannot imagine that again.
Yeah, so maybe now you don't see it. For this past since COVID-19, I think the roads are free. But before that, if even 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, the roads in KL is pretty much packed, and there's no way you can get to your job on time. It's a big deal if you're in Kuala Lumpur and you're doing that. So that was a stress. That became a stress for me. So I went through kind of anxiety during that period of time because of the rush, and because I have to be committed to my work at this, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and and I have to be back with the jam, with the traffic, and my daughter in the car with me. I went through a phase of stress and anxiety at that point of time. So that was pretty scary, because thinking about me driving with her in my car, and I thought, okay, I need to do another transformation of myself from this situation to another. So I'm the person always like, okay, when I face some situation, I need to do something. I have to fix it. So I have to find some different options for it. It's not that I really want to, but just to make sure everybody is safe, that my daughter is safe, and I can still be functional. I can do my my everyday routine thing, and make sure everybody is safe and healthy, kind of stuff. So because of that situation, and of course I had a very good department, there wasn't any fuss about it and all that, but I felt I shouldn't be doing this. It's not nice, and I need to do some transformation. That's when I sit back and I had a chat with my husband again, and then I said, most likely I have to switch my job. So then I decided to quit my job. I sacrificed for the situation for my daughter, basically, because she was very young, and my husband at the time, as I told you, he was going around traveling due to his project management commitments, due to this projects and that projects. So he was not all the time with me as well. So at times I felt insecure that he wasn't there, and I was actually looking after my daughter and alone. My parents were in Port Exons, and my brothers were away at that time. They were studying in Australia. So me managing that situation myself with the stress and anxiety, I really felt I need to do something about this. I really have to take care of myself and her. We gotta be safe. So that's when I spoke to him, and he said, it's your choice. Since I'm traveling and you can't be going through the stress, and you really have to look after her. So if you think that's the best choice for all of us, then go ahead. All right. So he's always been supportive of me, whatever I do. So I'm grateful for that. And then I decided to quit my job. So I was really doing my full-time mom job at home for like about a year or two. I was really taking a break from all the things, because I really need to recuperate myself from the stress and anxiety that I faced. So during that time, she was growing and she was schooling and all that. Then I was bored.
So after 1 year full-time mommy, and now you feel bored.
Because I'm so used to getting up and going to the job kind of person, and always on the run, always on the move. So you put me, I feel I'm tied up at home, I don't have my wings to do my things. I said, okay, now what shall I do? I have to make another transformation. So these are the phases in my life that I went through, that for what I am now here at this point of time. So then my husband suggested, why not you do trainings? Because he does trainings. Whenever he comes back, he does trainings. So he was kind of supportive. He said, why not you at least consider training, at least you can work at your own pace and at your own time, and you got something to do, and you have a lot of knowledge. Because I'm the person, I always like to brainstorm with him. We used to have a lot of rantings. We used to discuss a lot of things and ideas. So he knows that I was capable of sharing my knowledge.
Okay. So this is the moment after you become 1 year mommy? So this is the moment that you decide you want to try on your trainer path?
Yes. So then, I took his idea. So I went for a TTT program, trainer program with HRDF, Human Resource. At that time, we call it HRDF. Now it's HRD Corp, right? I took, it was a 5 days training. So I really certified myself to become a trainer. That was something that changed my life. That changed my background. My whole entire background changed with that decision.
Okay.
So from then on, I'm doing that was in 2015 when I went for a TTT program. Then from there, that was somewhere in November 2015, so close to end of the year. Then in 2016, that's when I started the first training session. Very much I was dealing with children at first. Yeah.
So the first training session will be for the children?
Yeah. because I get along with children. So when I was having my break, that 1-2 years break, my daughter was in international school, so I was participative as in the parents association, and I was meeting up parents and I was meeting up teachers and all that. So we used to have get together, we used to have some discussions and sharings. So I started up with children's because I can get along with children's very well. So I do classes for children's. I train them a little bit more on what do you call that, motivating them, empowering them a little bit, this kind, and teaching them. So that's how I started. Yeah.
I was thought that your first training session will be with the adult, but you quite surprised me that because you start with children. So wow, that's quite impressive to me, because normally after they attend the TTT, the first thought I was thinking that you're going to teach the adult or any topic, but you surprised me with the children's topic. So after that, do you still continue to teach the children for the foreign classes?
Yeah. Even now, I still work with children. I enjoy working with children, and they like to work with me. Maybe they think I'm a little adventurous. I'm funny at times. I am strict at certain point of time when it like really comes to exams or whatever. There's no way they can get out of that. But they know I'm a fun-oriented person, because before this COVID-19, I used to hang out with my students. I take them out. I take them out for party.
Wow.
I take them out. It's more like what do you call this, youth camp kind of thing, or teenage camp. So I used to take them out. I take them to Port Dickson. I take them to some good places where they can have some sort of team bonding, team building sessions. So I used to work along with these teenagers, especially this primary standard 6 to up to Form 4. So yeah, I used to do this kind of bonding session with them. So we used to travel. I used to take them. I even take them to like cool malls. We go and have some nice makan. Yet at that time, I do a little bit of brainstorming or discussion. Get them have this bonding among them. So I do that. And my best choice is I used to take them out. I really enjoyed having the session with them in Port Dickson, in Penang. So yeah, those outing things that really creates the bonding among them, and I myself really enjoy that, because they see the difference in them. And some of the parents actually like, teacher, do this more often. I think they are improving in a sense of having respect to the parents, and they are and even sometimes they don't want to study, but as you've been motivating them, they actually take the initiative to study, and at least the parents started noticing them. They are staying awake a little late to complete their homework or to study for exams. So, and they have good communication with the parents. So that's another thing, the respecting the parents and all that. So yeah, I was doing that and I enjoyed that more than teaching adults actually, because working with children is not easy.
Yes. Working with children, you have the uncertainty more than the certainty.
Yeah, but when they like you, when they come to you, they like you, then that's the time you actually you can start motivating and do your part for them, so that they will enjoy. So I enjoy doing my part in that sense. Later on, only then I moved to adult learning. Of course, the TTT I did it's for adults. It's adult learning training. And then I moved on to adult trainings, because there was some request on stress management, which I still currently do, mental health, and a few other soft skills like interpersonal skills development, body language. So I still do that for corporates.
When I heard about this topic, I want to ask, is it the past experience when you do for the clinical analysis, does it help in this topic?
Yes, definitely. Because for some of my networks who actually approached me for the training, they know my background. They know that I came from a medical science background. So I'm well off with this knowledge on mental health or stress management based on medical science. So whatever information that I share during my trainings is very much based on medical science or neuroscience, because I'm also a postgraduate student on doing my master's in neuroscience, cognitive neuroscience. So usually I apply the techniques, the skills, or the knowledge I learned, not what I've learned in my past, but what I'm learning currently as well. So I share based on that, the knowledge. So that it's something people actually look forward to. And a lot of people are actually when they talk about stress or any depression or anxiety, they don't know where. Sometimes they don't know that they're actually facing depression or anxiety. When they come to me, when I share, and they have an open session with me, when they talk to me, you realize that they don't know they are facing such problems. So when they open up to you only when they trust you. People don't open up simply to anybody. We will only open up to someone that we really trust, especially when we are having situations in life which is very private and personal. So when you make them realize that they're going through certain phases of stress or depression, then that's when they there's a ring, the bell rings in their head saying, oh, okay, looks like that I'm having this problem. So during my stress management training, what I do is I make them do the stress assessment. Mm-hmm. So when they do the stress assessment, they kind of know where is their stress level, right? Mm-hmm. So from there, they can do their self-assessment. Oh, I need to do something. So I give them the score based on that. So what you should do next with the score. So then they will take some initiative to make some lifestyle changes, or look for a counselor, or get professional help, that sort of thing.
I wanted to ask, is it a necessary or is it a must to find a counselor whenever you have a high stress level?
Not necessarily a counselor. A good friend will do. A good friend. As I said, you need to have someone you trust to open up and to talk with. So when you have a good friend or good buddy where you can share a lot of stuff, even your secrets, your ultimate secrets in life, and they can actually listen to you. Sometimes they just want someone to listen to you. So when you have someone close to you, a friend who trusts you, then you can even open up to them. Even your family members, there's maybe your sibling you're close to, or your cousin, or your uncle or aunt, where you think you can open up with, you trust them, and they can be a good help to you. Then go for them. All right, you don't really need a counselor. But if you're in a situation where you can't find any of them, especially students, I did this assessment with students, especially university students, college students, private universities and colleges. What happens is, they being away from their parents, it's a main stress for them. They are away from their home. They are away from their loved ones. So what happens is, the university, the campus is new, the friends are new, they don't know anybody there. So when this situation happens, then it's much advised you go and seek for a counselor. Usually in campus, you will have counselors. So when students face some sort of problem, you can always seek the warden or the counselor to get help. Yeah, so that is one option. But if you think your stress level or any mental health issues that you're facing is beyond, it's uncontrollable, that means you can't sleep, you're having like 2 weeks, you are down, you are going the downward spiral, having depression for 2 weeks, you're very anxious every time, then counseling is not sufficient. You need to look for a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist to help you deal with that situation. Counseling and just mere friends will not help. Yeah.
I see. So from here, actually, I do have another question after listening to the problem that can be faced. So what is the biggest challenge you face in your trainer journey, especially when you're teaching about the stress management or to overcome the depression?
Challenges. All right. I can speak from the aspects of being and having this anxiety and stress because I had it. So what I do is most of the time I share how I dealt with it. So if that was helpful for them, so probably they can adapt to that, to whatever ideas that I give them. Another situation that I think the challenge was when you actually being vulnerable, when you open up one-to-one session, when you're having a talk with someone who's actually undergoing some sort of a major stress in life, what happens is you cannot be too empathical, right? One challenge I had is they take advantage of you. They take advantage of you in a sense that, at that point of time, taking advantage of me in a sense that they occupy too much of my time. Because you're opening up to them, so you're listening to them, so they think, so they, most of the time they want to come back to you because they don't know how to deal with their situation, with their stress and anxiety. So even for the petty little things, they really depend on you. So the challenge was for me to balance my time, at the same time provide my best service to them. So I was not even, sometimes they would want to talk to you in the middle of the night. Late night, because they're having some issues, they can't sleep. So they want to have a chat. They want to have a chat because they want to let they want to let it out. They need some outlet. So that's when you come in and you are doing your role as someone trying to help, but at the same time, you got to sacrifice your time. I had this situation. It's pretty much a challenge that I had to deal with because I had to manage my time. It's not right for me to be awake late night and entertain such message or call. And so that was one major challenge I had during at that time. But I set my priorities. So I set my balance. So they know, after 10, I don't take any calls because it can be stressful for you. People putting out their problems to you and you're absorbing it. So you need to know how to wash it off. You need to come back to your senses, your balances. Otherwise, you're going to be like drained into that energy as well. So that was pretty much major challenge that I had to deal with. Yeah. Otherwise, being a trainer, the initial challenge was to understand the business of the training industry, how to some of the terms that I was not familiar with, and how to get the confidence, to build my confidence to be in front of the training. We had offline trainings, live trainings in organization. So to build that confidence and all that. So initially that was a challenge, but I always had good mentors. I had trainers with much experience, including my husband and a few others from the trainers network. So we used to hang out together. We used to go and upskill ourselves with trainings. We tag along with our mentors and senior trainers. So you get the confidence. You see how they do it. And that was really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that because when we start, it will be a little bit hard. But you mentioned about the mentor, the friends, or the people who are in the same industry like you. Yes, it's a great help. But when they talk about the friends, right, I want to ask you, what is the most memorable moment during your trainer journey?
Memorable, I have a lot of glimpses of good memories. Being with my mentors was a good memory because I learned a lot. So we had a lot of fun, to put up energizers, the team building, running around, bullying your friends. So, bullying your friends during the training session. Yeah, we do that often, especially in team buildings, games and sessions. So that was really fun and adventurous, especially if you go for team building session, which is, the outdoor session.
Yes.
So that is fun. That is fun. I really like that. Another memorable training is when I really did this training for big organization like Northport. And, people actually come up, they open up to you, and they really share their personal experience and what is really happening in the organization. What makes them stressful, and when they come to you and open up, when I have a case study or role modeling during the training session, when they really come out and express it and share it, I think, wow, they are really being vulnerable with me to share the experience, and at the same time getting the inputs from my side and even all the other colleagues, the discussion and brainstorming. I think that's really fun. Yeah, that's something really memorable to me.
So
Yeah.
I will believe that they will really enjoy your, I wouldn't say your training, but I will say your sharing. So that's why they dare to speak up after your training sections. That is a very, very good point from you. And of course, when you has been inspired so many people, I also want to know that who is the one at the back to inspire you to become a trainer, because we do believe that after facing the challenges, definitely you may feel down. So who is the one who always back you up, who always inspire you to keep going in your trainer path?
Mainly my family members. My husband,
Yeah.
yes, because he's from the training industry, so anything I refer back to him, whether good or bad. If I had a bad day during the training time, I will always go back, and he's kind of like my mentor as well. So I ask him for ideas, so he will guide me. And he had about 25 years of experience in training. So he got a lot to share, and he does a lot of sharing from the team building exercises and all that with me. So usually I apply that as well. So he was a great support for me. Apart from that, of course, my brothers were always there as well. So if I'm a little down or anything, I just get in touch with my brother. So he will come and help me with. In any situation, he will always be there and help me in whichever way possible. And besides that, I also refer to other seniors, my mentors. I had Isaac and Nazreen. These are great trainers. They were mentoring me from the beginning, and they really gave all the ideas. And they even shared some of those training materials. And you can go about doing this, and some team building activities and all that. So yeah, I always had the support. Another thing is, sometimes they don't know your situation, so you have to go open up and ask them. If you don't know how to go about this training, be bold enough to go and ask them, how can I do this? How can I improve my skill on this, on this training or on this team building? How can I be a better presenter? How can I do my pitching for organization before I even, go in for the training? You have to do a pitching. So all these trainings and mentorings that I gained from these people around me really helped. It really molded me to what I am, to the confidence that I have now to even, go forth and, in moving forward in my training business. So I'm really thankful for all of them who are helping me out in this sense.
Wow. Okay. Coach Suba, I want to say that there's a question from our Facebook. Okay.
Right.
So beside I asking who is the one who inspire you, so the question comes from Aisha. She asked, "What always inspire you to be the best?"
What always inspire you to be the best? As I mentioned, you don't know how powerful you are. Sometimes we underestimate ourselves. So I always have this notation. Maybe I was brought up in such a way. I had a very strong parentage. My parents don't simply play with me. They're like that. Okay.
Okay.
If want to kanna means you should kanna. Okay. At the times
Right.
where they pamper you, they pamper you. But at the times when they're really strict, they are very strict. I had a very strict, parents who were actually bringing me up. So
Typical Asian parents.
yes. So there's no manja stuff and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
So they know when they need to be strict, and they know when to reward me. So, and I'm the person who always been, pushed my parents to be strong and independent. Never depend on anybody. You gotta be independent. So my father is the type of man. He will push me to a jungle. You stay there for 2 days and then you come back.
Wow.
So yeah, I
Seriously?
went. Yeah, yeah. So we grew up like that. We grew up like
Okay.
that. So if you ask me to do this and do that, I have no fear. I will do it. I will go for horse riding, I will go for mountain climbing, I will do all this stuff because I was not brought up in a sense say no, you should not go there, that kind of thing and all that. Go and give it a try, that kind of thing. So the this kind of thing actually molded you. So it's not just me. I think it's everybody. If any parents who actually bring up your children to be a stronger person, you have to mold them from young to be more independent, but you put the trust on them. My parents really trusted me. I know you can do it. That's my father. That's what he will say. I know you can do it.
Wow.
Just go and do it. I know you can do it. So your positive words, that the confidence that they give you actually builds your confidence from young. So you have to be a little open to give the opportunities for your children to grow. Send them out for camps, youth camps, teenage camps, whatever camps. I used to go. My father, with school holidays, no staying at home, go for camping, go and learn.
Wow.
Motivate, say, go for your leadership. At that time when I was young. So yeah, like lower secondary school, when I was in even primary school, you send me
Mm-hmm.
off for campings and all that. Go and stay,
Wow.
2 days, 3 days away from my parents. Go and build. Another thing is I grew up most of the time away from my parents. So I
Mm-hmm.
was only with my parents during my primary school. Secondary onwards, I wasn't staying with my parents. I was
I.
staying with my aunts. Okay,
Whoa.
my parents were in Terengganu, so my parents sent me off to school in Kuala
Mm-hmm.
Lumpur. So I stayed with my aunties. So being away from your parents, being away from my auntie, which I never stayed before. All right, and
Okay.
they had their own children and all this. So I grew up in a different environment totally, and I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in their way of lifestyle. So I adapted a lot of things from young. Okay, I adapted a lot of things even from the way I study and everything different. So I had to be bold. I have to be courageous. And yes, I missed my parents, but I have no choice. So I have to be strong. I have to do this. So that kind of molded me from young to what I am now. So it's so much of inspiration that comes from my parents as well. They really pushed me through, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I will say thanks to your parents because they gave us a great Suba.
I'm still learning. I'm always learning. I'm still learning. And all of us, I know we all have the skill. We all can transform ourselves to whatever you want to be. You all have your success birthright. And in whichever field that you are interested in, you can always be successful. It's just that you have to persevere. You have to have the
Mm-hmm.
confidence. You have to persevere and
Mm-hmm.
be consistent. Do not drop it halfway and then, push it through. Be consistent and you will definitely win it.
Alright. Here's come another question also from Facebook. Yes, it will be from Tommy. You mentioned what is the best reward in your journey as a trainer?
My best reward in my journey is having to hear a great testimony from all the participants. Right, even previous ReSkills training, I had about 100 over students participants during the class, and I had about 50 over testimonies, which gives you credit of being a fantastic trainer. We learned a lot from you. You shared a lot of knowledge, something that you don't hear or you learn outside. When I share with them something which
Mm-hmm.
comes from my experience and knowledge based on the neuroscience aspect, but they don't learn it outside. So when they give them this aha moments, and when
Mm-hmm.
they give me this kind of testimony, they really had a great session. That is a great reward for me.
Wow. A good feedback always is I would say good improvement for all the trainers.
Yes, it boosts
And
our confidence as well.
I
And
see.
thank you so much to all of you.
Yeah. So beside here, we also have another question from Jaggerson. He mentioned, I got a question. If you have to let go your training job, what job or career will you be considering at this point of time?
Scientist.
Scientist. Wow, I thought you're going to back to your medical line.
Scientist. Yeah, because medical line I already had experience. So training line I already had experience. So you know me being adventurous. So I'm going to
Yes.
be a scientist, and that's what
Good.
I'm working along now. So I'm pursuing my cognitive neuroscience. So I'll be more into that aspects of being a neuroscientist. That's probably my last result of job if I'm going to go for as a scientist.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's a quite impressive answer. All right, so from here, yes, I think we're almost near to the ending time. I think it's a quite fun time with our Coach Suba. I think after today, if you miss out the fun part, I will say that please go and rewatch it because you're going to experience different Suba from here. If you met her in the training, I will say that please go and rewatch this live talk because it's going to impress you a lot. And of course, before we end the session, definitely we want to ask that, is there any quote or any statement that is always pushing you to go further, go forward?
As I mentioned, the transformation comes from you. So you have to be ready to transform yourself. So people live in an environment, especially now, depending on a lot of external factors, depending on external things. They want someone to boost them up. They want something to happen. They want some sort of events to take place. All right, outside of them, that will actually do some changes inside of them. It's actually the other way around. So when you change your inner self, when you transform your thoughts, your belief system, your behavior, your emotions to be more elevated, then things around you actually change. So I hope people will understand that the big thing actually comes within you first before you see the external change. So I want them to believe in themselves and understand that they can set a great example. They can become very successful in their life by, first of all, transforming their inner self. Let them hear what you are telling yourself about your own self. Don't tell yourself, don't have this inner talk which is very negative towards you. Like, for example, I'm bad, I'm hopeless, I'm such a lousy person. Don't do this to yourself. Just stay away from this negative affirmations of your own self. Always be positive. Talk positive about yourself. If you don't love yourself, then nobody's going to do that. So First of all, you have to love yourself, inspire yourself, change within yourself. Take little step in changing the bad habits into good habits. It will take time, but at least take the initiative. At certain point of time, definitely it's going to make a major changes in your life. You will definitely see it. I have seen it, and I've seen it in others as well. So based on that experience I'm sharing, do little changes a day. Take a little step a day. Then you can create mountain.
Yeah, true. Everything will be start small, but definitely will be end with great result. Yeah. All right. So I think the time is also near. Even though I can see that our Coach Suba has shared so much, but I still want to squeeze more messages from our Coach Suba. Let's say, okay, so today, since this is a final round, do we have one last message for everyone who is still stay with us until this moment?
Okay, for those who are interested to come on board as trainers, or you want to try becoming a trainer, because one thing I can tell you at this point of time, the robots are here. All right, the robots are here. The big wave is here, is shifting and drifting everything, making major changes in life. So if you think you're losing your job, you have lost your job, or you want to try some new thing, let me tell you, this online and digital thing is the current trend. So you have to start a business, or you have to transform yourself to whatever you've been doing all this while to something which is digital based or online based. So if you want to start up with a training business or what, come on board with us as well. So if you want some advice, you can always ask me. You can ask from ReSkills as well. So we encourage and we actually give the opportunity to many outside there who would like to share your knowledge. And for those who wish to learn so many things, you can learn a lot of things for free. You can come and visit us as well. And definitely you will love what we are doing here. So we have a great team to work with. So yeah, come on board with us as well. And what else? I need to tell you this. Make sure you keep a balance of your stress. So because this stress is pretty damaging, and over time it can actually make you sick. So do something to overcome the stress, even a minor lifestyle change, and keep your confidence. Make yourself positive always, and definitely you will see your success coming through your way. So I guess that's all from myself at this point of time. Kenley, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Coach Suba, for the wonderful sharing and also for these fruitful sections with you. I also learned a lot from your experience, even for your sharing just now. I do believe that our audience will be start a minor step from today or maybe from tomorrow, but I will quite encourage all of you, start right now, start this moment, make a little change, make a minor change, and you will become someone great you think too. So once again, thank you, Coach Suba. I would love to see you more in our ReSkill platform. So thank you for your time, and we'll see you in our ReSkill. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. See you all again. Bye bye. Good night.